And good morning. It is Live at 9 with James Phillips here on WJLX. It's a Tuesday morning, and things look great outside. It's going to be a beautiful day today here in Jasper, Alabama. And this morning, my special guest I've got with me is Bevel State head baseball coach Steve Woodard. Coach Woodard, thanks for coming in this morning.
It's good to be here.
Man, you guys have been on a roll. I think when I looked at the statistics and standings a minute ago, y'all have won 5 straight. Is that right?
Yeah, knock on wood.
Right. Yeah. knock on as much wood as possible.
No, we've been playing well. We just played Shelton yesterday. We were able to beat Shelton, I think 5-4, but took 4 games from Marion Military and sitting in a pretty good spot here. Sitting in second place with 4 games left to go, and just need to win 1 game out of those 4 to finish in second place and get a bye in the tournament.
Oh, and that's awesome. And you guys coming off 3 really big wins as far as over the weekend. You had MMI and walked away with a win there.
Yeah.
And then yesterday went to Shelton, which is always one of the better teams in the country.
Right. Yeah, they are. And Coach Sproul was actually at Alabama when I was actually coming out of high school. He was the pitching coach at University of Alabama, and known him for a very long time. Great program. He's won over 1,000 games as a coach there, and
wow,
been around for a long time. And it's good now to be able to actually be able to stay on the field with Shelton,
Right.
And so, things are turning around. Things are looking up.
Now, do you think you have 1,000 games in you for Bevel?
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I got started doing it soon enough to
Right.
get 1,000 in.
Yeah, you got to start pretty young to get that many in.
You do, but no, it's been fun. I'm looking forward to the future, and I think there's a bright future ahead.
Oh, I think definitely so. And just looking at this year, you guys are 36-15. 23-9 in the conference, won 5 in a row, and it looks like the bats have been the key because you guys are leading in a bunch of categories as far as batting. And I noticed in 51 games you scored 398 runs. Is that right?
Yeah, that's crazy. I tell you what, the offense. I was telling all the pitchers if we could just hold teams to 3, 4 runs, we could win every game. And it's kind of been surprising because some of my pitching, some of the numbers are misleading, but my best pitchers from last year that are back, they've pitched well, but there's been a play here or there that might cause some issues and a couple runs score here
Right.
and there. But for the most part, we're starting to pitch well now, which is kind of good as we're getting into the tournament, getting close to the tournament, kind of putting everything together, hopefully, as a team.
Yeah, that's definitely the right time to start pitching well.
It is, and, the teams that are hot here going into the tournament are the ones that end up winning it. And, Wallace Dothan has been the team, I'm good friends with their coach, and it's been a team when I first got into this, watching how they do things, and, that's where we wanted to get to, and, they've won it, I think, over the last 4 or 5 years, and hopefully we can take that over this year.
Now, is this your second season? Is that right?
Second full season, so
Okay.
I took it over. That first year, I took it over about 15 games into the season, and
Yeah.
which was interesting. I'm glad I did, because I was able to see kind of what was going on and able to at the end of the year.
That got your feet on the ground.
It got my feet on the ground. I was able to see what we had, what I needed to go get, and made a lot of changes and. Got a lot of new guys in the next year, and and it's been it's been good. Being able to see what I needed and everything, and kind of building off of that. But there's been a core group of guys that helped get it all going.
Yeah. Now, did you expect to be able to turn it around this quickly?
Well, I always do because I'm a competitor, so I think I ought to be able to turn it around just right there.
You probably thought you should have turned it around that first half a season you were there.
100%. That's what I thought going in, and but I think it was a lot of just getting the right players and knowing what you're looking for, and sometimes that works and sometimes it don't. But I think that was a good key, was just getting guys that would play together, mesh together, and to this point right now, it's worked out pretty well.
Now, did you ever expect to go into coaching of in any sort, really?
Well, I was doing TV stuff and doing games, college games, and American Legion and different things like that. And I'd worked with Dr. Haygood's son Breck and doing some baseball stuff with him, and I actually kind of brought it up to him, and we talked about it and chatted about it a little bit. And I didn't ever think I'd want to get back into pro baseball,
Right.
but college baseball, I told my wife I kind of wanted to get into it, and told her I would love to do that, and it just kind of worked out. It worked out about halfway through that year, and here we are now.
Talk a little bit about just the rebuilding effort and what all's gone into it, and have there been any surprises that you didn't expect? I mean,
Well, Well, it's a lot of learning. I tell you that. I'm still learning to this day.
Yeah.
And, but I think one of the main things was trying to change what things look like there at Bevel.
Just kind of change the culture and everything.
Change the culture. The culture was huge. Changing the culture, but changing, maybe having a nicer indoor, do some things to the field. People laughed at me when I painted the fence black and the dugouts black, but it changed the perception when you walk in of everything that you see. And
Right.
But then was just able to get guys, and I had a kid from Michigan last year that I'd known that come in, and so was able to get guys like that to come in for a year, and Tanner Sontag, Maddox McCrory, those guys, Connor Gibbs, guys like that have helped change the culture from last year up into this year to help me get those good recruits.
Now, who are the guys that are hitting the ball so hard this year?
Well, it seems like everybody on the team.
Right.
I
noticed y'all are batting 342 as a team.
342. I was going to say around 350, but you look at Cade Durrett. Cade Durrett is from American Christian Academy, and he was one of the first guys. Him and Nick Peters. Nick Peters is hitting 421. Cade's hitting, I think, 428, and both of them are like 3 and 4 in the conference, or 4 and 5 hitting.
Right.
Durrett has 10 home runs. Nick has 8 home runs. I've got a kid in center field, Drake McBride, who will probably end up getting drafted. It's already committed to Alabama State. And then you got guys back like Gresham Baker, and Cole Payne's my shortstop and has been my 2-hole hitter for the whole 2 years, of being here. And then pitching Brady Laminack and Will Whitley and Landon Fike, all these guys from, 2 guys from Gordo, Pell City. And, it's been fun. It really has, watching how these guys play together. And
I know people talk all the time about how hard it is to recruit in JUCO, and especially in Alabama.
Right.
Have you seen that at all?
Well, this year's been the first year. I lost a couple of guys to somewhere that actually had a brand new complex that was just put in. And,
right.
But it really, to that point, it's not been that hard, because guys, if you can win and you change the culture of everything and you win, guys will want to come because they're going to get recognized. And then this year being, ever since we were ranked, nationally.
When's the last time that Bevel had been? Do you even know?
I have no idea. Probably, I guess, when they won it in 2003 maybe would have been the last time. And but, changing that, because kids, all across the country, and I just got a kid from Texas 2 nights ago that committed for this next year that I've known, and great baseball player, game changer. And so you're starting to get kids like that that pick up the phone and want to come to play. And so you can help them go on and, have a bright future.
Right. And for everybody that doesn't know, Steve grew up in Coleman and Hartselle, mostly in Hartselle.
Yes, sir.
And you described yourself even as a country boy from a farm, basically.
Yeah, I grew up on a farm.
Yeah.
We had, cows and, and all kinds of animals and stuff. And but moved to Hartselle when I was in 4th grade. And a guy by the name of William Booth was the baseball coach there at Hartselle, and, one of the best ever in high school baseball. And that's how it kind of got going, and was drafted out of Hartselle to, by the Brewers, and made the big leagues at 22 years old. And, I guess the rest is history. But
now, what was it for a kid from Hartselle? What was it like being in the major leagues all of a sudden?
Well,
at 22 years old, that's a young age.
Yeah, it was just turning 22 years old, and you're very young kid, and still from a small town there in Hartselle, and learning how to still do laundry, learning how to cook, things like that, to live on your own at a young age. But
now, can you do laundry now?
Oh, I do. I do it all the time. I actually do our uniforms for the baseball team.
Oh man, you need a manager for that.
Well, I do, but no, it was fun. I mean, but the things I wish I could go back and change, if I had to change anything, was just try to enjoy it more. And I think that's the hardest thing, even now, being a coach at Bevel. Try to enjoy it more, and because you're so competitive. I'm very competitive, and all the guys on the team know how competitive I am, and I like to win.
Yeah,
I like to win, and that's a big thing. But doing it the right way too.
Well, when it's in your blood like that, you want to win. That's the whole point of going out there.
It is, and I think I told my wife when we were having that discussion that sometimes it's hard for people to understand. It's for somebody like me, it was about a W and a L.
Right.
And that's what.
And you probably had to figure out how to leave it on the field sometimes.
And how to leave it on the field sometimes. That's one of the hardest things. But I was missing that from when I was playing, and I think the only way that I could get it back was coaching was going to be the only way that I'd be able to get that back. And it's been. It's been fun. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed every minute of it. Building relationships with all the kids and parents, and I think we've changed the culture at Bevel, and it's a bright future ahead for Bevel.
Oh, I think definitely so. Guys, you're listening to Live at Night with James Phillips here on WJLX. We got Coach Steve Woodard from the Bevel State Bears on today. We're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, I want you to tell the story of your debut because
Sure.
to me it sounds like it could be made into a movie.
It could be. It could be.
So we're going to take a break, hear from our sponsors. We'll be right back on Live at 9 with James Phillips here on WJLX. And we're back on Live at 9. You heard all of our sponsors there. I want to say thank you to them. Thank you especially to Jake's on 4th and Young Jewelers. Jake's is closed today, but they'll be open tomorrow for lunch. Young Jewelers, they're open. And go in and check out everything that they've got in the store. Tons of stuff. Steve, I bet you've been in there to make your wife happy.
I have been in there before, actually. Yeah, sure have.
So go check out Young's Jewelers and tell them thanks for sponsoring Live at 9 and sponsoring WJLX. So we got Steve Woodard here. He's the baseball coach for Bevel State. But one thing I haven't really mentioned yet, we talked about a little bit, that he's a former big league baseball player, had 7 seasons. Is that right?
7 seasons in the big leagues.
And name off the teams that you play. I know the Brewers was first team.
So Milwaukee, Cleveland, Texas, Boston, Oakland, Marlins, Cardinals, and really I think that's it.
What was your favorite stop?
Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee. Still a big fan of. My best friend lives in in Wisconsin, and I love Milwaukee.
The Brewers fans, they get into it.
It's a great place. If you've never been to Wisconsin, you need to go. It's a great place to visit. Good tourists. They have what's called the Wisconsin Dells there.
Oh yeah,
great place to go. But just going and watching a football game, if you're going to go watch the Green Bay Packers there at Lambeau, or you want to go watch a baseball game, great place.
Well, and it seems like it would be a town where a blue collar kind of guy would fit in,
It is, and a lot of drinking, I tell you.
A
lot of beer, a lot of breweries and everything there, and they love their beer, they love their cheese. But
you didn't have much beer, did you, when you were playing?
No, not at all. But they, like I said, they love their sports. They support all their guys.
Yeah.
It's a great place to, if you were going to play professional sports, a great place to play.
And you were telling me with the broadcast stuff that you've done, you even had a chance to sit in with Bob Euchre before.
Yeah, I've had a chance to sit in with Euch, in spring training game before, and he was the radio guy there. He was there forever.
Yeah,
just passed away this year before last, and the best to ever do it. And great guy. He was there when I was playing, and it was fun to be around him and his one-liners.
Right.
Being a TV star too. Mr. Belvedere and different things and Major League.
Yeah, Major League is the thing that I think about even.
Yeah, the movies.
And that's how he was though, really calling a game. He wasn't joking around too much in Major League. That's who he was.
Yeah, it was. And actually, it's funny playing in Milwaukee. So you have the game on in the locker room. You don't have the game on TV, but it's always turned down, and they have Euchre on.
Oh yeah.
For the broadcast, listening to Euchre, and he could tell the same story 5 days in a row, and you'll laugh every time.
And he probably adds and changes something every day. Too.
Every day, and he just great guy, was a great caller of the game, and I hate it that he's gone.
Now the story I wanted you to tell is your debut, which to me it definitely seems like it's a Disney movie waiting to be made.
Well, I tell you what, you and I can profit off of it if you can get it. If you can get it done. But no, it was. Growing up in Hartselle, there were several guys that I idolized or wanted to be like. One of them was Roger Clemens, the other Orr Hershiser. But anyway, I got called up to the big leagues, and it's a doubleheader, day-night doubleheader. We're playing the Toronto Blue Jays. And anyway, come to find out, I'm going to be going up against Roger Clemens in my first start in the big leagues.
Wow. So there were some butterflies probably.
There were some butterflies. And at that time, he'd already won 5 Cy Youngs. And, anyway, my mom was like, hey, just do the best you can. You're probably not going to win. Just do the best you can.
She had all the confidence
in the world. But, just do the best you can. But back then there was not a lot of scouting reports. It was hard for, teams to, now we have video. You can just flip on TV and watch a pitcher pitch.
They had no idea.
They had really no idea, and got out there and, ended up before the day was over, 8 innings, punched out 12, 1 hit. And the only hit was to start the game, Otis Nixon. And Otis and I still do a lot of things together, camps and stuff. But it was great. After the game, Clemens, come over, got the jersey, signed the jersey for me, which I have framed in my office.
Yeah.
It was something, but it was all, like I said, it was downhill from there because how are you going to go from doing that to,
The only thing that could beat that would be the win a World Series or a Cy Young probably.
Yes, it was. You're exactly right. And then my second start, you were just asking, a few minutes ago.
Yeah, now I have to throw out Russell Moore's name because he's a buddy of yours from Hartselle, and he worked with me at the Mountain Eagle, and he said ask him about the home run the next game.
Yeah, so I ended up facing Seattle Mariners that next game, King Griffey Jr., everybody knows. And it was funny because first game I pitched, we had 20,000 people in the stands. And it was crazy. My first start back next game was 60,000 people in the stands.
Wow.
Anyway, and I was knocked out before the fourth inning of that game, but King Griffey Jr. I think he knocked down the foul pole. It was,
Yeah.
but he hit a line drive off the foul pole. First home run I gave up in the big leagues. And then actually the second home run I gave up in the big leagues was to Junior also because we went and faced him at the Kingdome in Seattle the next start, but I actually won that game. So
Okay, so Junior didn't totally have your number then.
he didn't totally have my number, but he did hit one in the Kingdome too. But I ended up winning that game,
Yeah.
luckily. But it was good to give up, home runs to guys like that. Part of history. Got some of the best Hall of Famers to ever play, and be around guys like that. I was being very fortunate and very lucky to have that happen.
And what do you bring from your experiences on the baseball field to coaching at Bevel? What's the key?
And I tell people all the time, I think the hardest thing for me is because I feel like, when guys make mistakes sometimes, I'm like, crap. It's hard for me because I wouldn't have technically made that mistake because of things that I did. And that's the hardest thing for me to do is to look at it in a different way. But just the experience of competing, I think that's the hardest thing now is kids just don't compete, a lot of times, this participation thing. Or whatever,
I was about to say, is it because we're in this participation trophy era?
Maybe so. But I think that a lot of it is this travel ball. I hate to say it, I mean, I have a lot of guys that play travel ball, but there's a difference in playing travel ball and then being a part of a team that you go out every day and you're trying to play together to win.
Right.
Than be for yourself. And but baseball is, I tell people, baseball is a very selfish sport. You do your job, then you help your team because there's nobody in the batter's box with you. There's nobody on the pitcher's mound with you. It's just you. But you do your job, then you help your team win. And that's how I kind of view it. But I think the hardest thing is just finding guys that compete and don't give up. And when things ain't going well, they don't, go over there and, sit and bad body language. Or,
Right.
But finding guys that just want to go out and win at any cost.
In my experience in sports, baseball players are the most superstitious of any athletes. Did you have superstition?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was weird. I would, I wore the same boxers, I think, or same, underclothes for 5 or 6 years. But
I hope you washed. Did you wash them?
We washed them.
Okay.
Washed them. But would tie my shoes in knots. Like I would tie them in 3 knots every time.
Yeah.
Just weird things, quirks. What I would eat every day. I'd go to the ballpark, eat spaghetti every time I pitched.
Yeah.
Just little things like that. But yeah, baseball players are weird. They have all these little superstitions that think they work, and
Yeah.
sometimes they don't. But we think they do.
Now, did you start some of those even back in high school, or is that stuff you picked up just along the way?
I think it was just stuff I just kind of picked up along the way.
Yeah.
There was, I saw a guy named Turk Wendell that actually used to go in the dugout and brush his teeth in between innings. He used to be with the New York Mets, and I was like, man, what's this guy doing? But I think, all through baseball, guys have little quirks and things that and that's what's unique about it. Everybody's a little different, and then you try to figure out all these little personalities and things to try to put everybody together to win and play together.
I think that's the toughest thing is putting those personalities together and making it mesh.
It is, and it's funny because I think the dorms, we're the only sport in Fayette, volleyball and us, we're the only campus that actually has dorms, and I feel like dorms, all these guys are always hanging out together and doing things together, eating, and and I think that's what makes it very special. They become a family, and when you become a family together like that, then you're gonna fight for each other all the time.
Right. Yeah. Now, when was it that you saw this team this year? You guys are, I forget what the record was now, but outstanding record. When did you know, hey, this team's going to be pretty good?
Well, in the fall, when I put this team together in the fall, I thought we were going to be, with the kids that we had paper-wise, we were going to be very good. But if you look at which is craziest thing ever, you look at our record, we're 36-15. We have been 10-run ruled 9 times.
Really?
And 9 times out of those 15 losses. And we were in every game like that. We were pretty much in it. It was just, it's weird how things just, like I was saying, one little thing.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden we give up 4 runs here, 5 runs there. But, on paper, we were going to be very good. And then I think we've started kind of putting it all together here late. So hopefully like I said, hopefully we can keep it going. The tournament's what matters, and hopefully we can win that tournament.
Now, what's the confidence like around the ballpark right now for y'all?
Oh, it's high. It is. I mean, I think all these guys, everybody I have, has great confidence. They believe in what they, believe in each other, but they believe in themselves. And the key is, which we got to win one out of these next 4 games, is to be the 1 seed or 2 seed, and then you get a bye in the tournament for the first round, which is huge. Last year, if I would have had that bye, we'd had opportunity, but we had to try to come out and win 5 games, and it's hard to win 5 games.
Yeah, definitely.
And so now we just hopefully can win 4 games and win this thing.
And the next game is tomorrow. Is that right?
We play tomorrow. Enterprise is coming in tomorrow to Fayette, to Bevel, to play us there.
And that's your last home game.
Last home game. We only have 4 games left, so we play
Yeah.
them 2 games. The way conference works, we'll play them 2 games tomorrow on Wednesday, which is usually Thursday, Saturday, but because of the tournament next week, we bumped it up
Right.
a day. So we play them 2 games on Wednesday at home, and then we travel to them and play 2 games there on Friday. So hopefully the games on Friday don't really matter that much, other than just getting some guys some reps and letting maybe some other guys play. But hopefully we can come out with at least win 1 game tomorrow and make it where it's not so nerve-wracking for me.
Now, what time is first pitch tomorrow?
First pitch, 1 o'clock tomorrow. 1
Okay.
o'clock tomorrow.
So anybody out there that's listening, if you want to go support the Bears, go do it in Fayette tomorrow at 1 o'clock. They need the support and to get a couple of wins under their belt to get that bye for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be the key, I think, is getting that bye.
Now, talk a little bit about Bevel and your just experience being there. How well have they administration been, all that kind of stuff? I mean, it seems like they're really moving in the right direction with all the sports programs right now.
It is. And like I was telling you, Dr. Haygood, I'd worked with his son Breck, and he and I had that discussion before he hired me, and he hired me spur of the moment. It was like he made a phone call
Yeah.
and told me, hey, come up, I need you to come to the office if you can. And he goes, can you take it over? And I'm like, next year? Or he's like, no, tomorrow. Tomorrow. So I ended up taking it over. But, Chris Harris, which is the softball coach.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you and him are kind of competitive with each other.
Well, we're both we both want to see each other do well.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I think he is just, if I had to say of anybody that's as competitive as me, he is right there with me. And,
Yeah.
and I think that's what makes everything great. He knew I was competitive, and so we kind of feed off of each other, and he wants, talking about the administration, Dr. Haygood's done everything in the world to help us, anything that we've needed. And then Chris is always got your back.
Yeah.
He's
And
always
he's
got your
athletic director and softball
He is the
coach.
athletic director and softball coach. He's got a tough job, but I tell you what, he's got your back 100% of the time on no matter what goes on. And, and then as far as everybody else, Tiffany, Martha Kimbrell, which has been my go-to there in Fayette, handling all the things that I do.
Yeah.
She's been great. And then, all the Sherry Terry there at Fayette campus, everybody's been great, and has been a big, huge part of everything that, has grown for us as a baseball team.
What's next for Bevel State baseball?
Well, I just see it getting better and better. We just got a new scoreboard. Dr. Haygood was able to get us it's like probably $120,000 scoreboard put in, and we've got a lot of things going on. As far as the locker rooms got better, different things around the campus have got better. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
And like I said, you need those things to be able to draw kids in from different. Different schools that, sometimes you go from a high school that has everything, like a Hoover or something like that. And then all of a sudden you go to a junior college, you don't have many things as you had and not as nice stuff. But I want to see things great when they get there. And, we're able to travel, do things for them and have things for them and just make it a better experience.
Now, what day does the tournament start?
Tournament start on the 29th. So the 29th is a Wednesday. It starts. And then, like I said, if we get a bye, we wouldn't play until Thursday, the 30th, at 1 o'clock if we get that 2 seed. There's still a chance we could be the 1 seed, but they would have to lose 4 games in a row, and we have to win 4 games in a row, LBW. So,
right.
But all we got to do is win 1 game and have the 2 seed, and we would play at 1 o'clock on the 30th, on that Thursday.
Well, let's hope y'all go in with the bye.
Well, I do too. That's the key to everything, is just win 1 game here over the next 4. And, if we do that, I think our pitching and everything will be able to play out, and it'll help us in the long run.
Now, how many y'all on the roster?
I've got 32 kids, and there's a lot of teams that have a lot more kids than me. And,
right.
But I've got 32 kids. I try not to keep, too many.
Yeah.
But 32 is a good number for me, and and then I've got to get kids to to help do things here or there, and then if somebody gets hurt, you got somebody, and I think that's the hardest thing is kids that have always been a star or one of the best players on their high school team. They come here.
Right.
And we'll use, for instance, Kel Tittle from Lynn. And you know who you've
heard.
Kel. And Kel has been the biggest help for us this year. It's the biggest surprise. Last year, come in as a freshman, struggled a little bit, and he comes to me, he's like, hey, look, this game's faster, from
1A Lynn. Yeah.
1A Lynn to there. And now this year, he's one of the top relievers in the whole division, in the whole conference. He's I want to say he's got 7 saves. He's got 5 or 6 wins, and he's been one of the top guys. He'll probably end up being one of the top relievers. He'll probably get an award for being the top reliever in the conference this year. So completely changed his career and has opportunity to go on and play after this year.
Now, do you expect pretty much most people on the team to kind of go to somewhere, a 4-year school, that kind of thing?
That's a great question, because I had this discussion with 2 or 3 kids yesterday. I feel like everybody on our team. You look at the direct kid. I said I think he's an SEC guy. Nick Peters. I think he's an SEC. I think he's a D1 guy. A lot of the guys are, but then you have some of these guys that would be able to go play somewhere, and they're like, hey, coach, I'm ready to. They're very smart kids.
Right.
Have scholarships to places for academics, and they're like, coach, I think this is going to be it. I'm going to give you everything I got here to finish up.
Right.
And then I'm going to go on and go to school and finish up.
Right. Because, by that point, they know if it's going to be a career at some point or not, really.
And people don't realize it's a job. I mean, it's an everyday process, from when you start in August till May, it's an everyday process. And you only get a few days. You go home on the weekend, maybe on Sunday for a little bit, but it's a job, and it's difficult for some kids to adjust to.
Yeah, and you never stop recruiting, I'm guessing.
It is a everyday process, and I'm still learning now how to use Twitter and all these social media sites and things like that. And that's what coaches nowadays, they do use social media to be able to. I don't know what they would have done before. I don't know how you did it.
Yeah, I know. Well, and you want the kids to at least think that you're not just an old out-of-date man, that you can use Twitter at least.
I'm still learning, but like I was telling you, I mean, I'm getting kid. I had a kid from Michigan, and then Texas, Georgia. I'm using that, and you can see things on social media. They'll send you messages, videos, and then you see interest. You see you like them, then you can go and do some different avenues to get some more knowledge and see if they would be a fit.
Yeah, I was at the Jasper game yesterday. And they capped the year off with a win, and they were telling me that 2 of their seniors out of their 3 are coming to play at Bevel.
John David Kimbrell and John Walker, is coming. John Walker Wilson, and both those great kids.
I was going to say that's 2 good kids.
They are very good kids, very good baseball players, and they're going to be a big part of everything we got going next year.
Kimbrell had the game-winning hit. He had a bases clearing double that scored 3 runs to win the game.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's good.
And they beat Haleville 6-4.
Okay,
so
that's good.
He did that in the bottom of the 6th.
Awesome. That's good for him.
Yeah,
good for him. He's a good baseball player, and he can play a lot of different positions, and he's gonna be a big asset.
Anything else you want to add? We're getting close on time here. You want to say anything just to the community for all the support and that?
Well, thank you for all the support. I would love to get everybody out to a game. Come down to the tournament. Come down to the tournament.
Now, where will it be?
It'll be at Patterson Field there in Montgomery,
okay.
And I can get you the dates or times and all that stuff. But I mean, really, we only know the first day, 1:00 on Thursday. But as it goes forward throughout that weekend, the Montgomery Biscuit Stadium.
Yeah.
We'll be playing there. I know the finals are there, but there's a possibility we'll be playing there on Saturday also.
Okay, cool.
If it works out right. So, love to see people come down and support us and support these kids. It's a good team and fun to watch.
And y'all got a lot of Walker and Winston County kids on the team too.
We do. Jed Wilkins also. He's from Addison, and Kel Tittle. They're from Lynn, and then so we got kids from all over Alabama, but
and then branching out to Michigan,
then branching out.
Texas,
that's what you got to do. You got to do to get the right kids in, and hopefully they all mesh together. But fun team to watch, and. Hopefully we can put it all together in this tournament.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming in today. I know it is a busy time for you, And we were, you and Timmons were exchanging texts back and forth to try to figure out what was a good day. So I'm glad,
Yeah. Well,
glad
I'm
you made it in today.
Well, I'm glad I came. Thank you for having me.
And we'll be keeping up with you and letting everybody know when y'all are playing and that sort of thing once the tournament gets here. And I mean, I don't know if we could do it, but I'd love to come down there and cover one of the games.
For sure. I'd love you to.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. Well, guys, thanks for listening today. Tune in tomorrow. I'll have Hart representatives from Hart here. I know they've got a lot of different things going on. I'm not sure what our topic's going to be tomorrow yet, but I'll talk to them today to find out. If you have any questions for like a counselor, or you think you might need counseling, something like that, send a private message in. Or if you have any questions, like just things that's in your head or on your heart, Hart can help with that. So go ahead and send some questions in, or if you need to see a therapist, that sort of thing, they'll hook it up. But they'll be here tomorrow. We'll be here all week. Today, Bevel State softball, 1 o'clock. Brian Hale's going to be on the call. Be sure to go to listen to it on our streaming channels on YouTube and Facebook, and then also we'll have Cordova's playoff game on Thursday, and that's going to be a big series for them against Hamilton to see if the Blue Devils can move on. So until tomorrow, be kind and love, and we'll see you on Live at 9 with James Phillips on WJL.